today we are going to discuss about Women's Reservation Bill, and this topic is important from GS2 and polity perspective. So you all know that in Parliament and in all over the media there is debate going on Women's Reservation Bill. And after 7 decades of independence, why we are still discussing about women's empowerment? Because women are not represented equally in every arena, and especially in political arena. What we can see that in Lok Sabha there are only 78 women MPs, and in Rajya Sabha there are only 24 women MPs. So this is the representation of women in political arena, which is not in a good condition. So that's why this topic is very important for your exams. So moving to the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, and then about Women's Reservation Bill, and then history of this Women Reservation Bill, and then what are the issues related to it, and then practice question for prelims and mains. So moving to the news part. So NDA-led government, which is led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has approved the Women Reservation Bill, and which will provide reservation to women in the Parliament, which is in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and also in the Vidhan Sabha. So this is the news we are going to discuss, but this news is with lots of controversy. So many political parties, especially the regional parties, are opposing it. And we will discuss in today's class that why they are opposing this Women's Reservation Bill. This is the bill which ensure that women will be empowered in the Parliament and especially in the political arena. Then why so many political parties are opposing it? We will answer this in the further slide. So moving to the next slide is about Women's Reservation Bill. So first of all, we'll have a brief idea that how much percentage will be given to the women. So there will be the provision of 33% of the seats in the Parliament and especially in the State Legislative Assembly and the Lok Sabha. So this is the brief about Women's Reservation Bill, and this will seize a cap of 15 years. It means that this thing will be reviewed after 15 years, whether that women should need more reservation or not. So this will be reviewed after the 15 years, and reserve seat will be allocated by the rotation method. So this is the brief about Women's Reservation Bill, but there are two kinds of arguments present in the media, that what are the arguments which are in the favor of Women's Reservation Bill and what are the arguments which are not in the favor of Women's Reservation Bill. So first we will look for the what are the arguments which are in the favor of Women's Reservation Bill. The first thing is that it will ensure women empowerment. Then political representation, because we can see that Global Gender Report says that political representation in India is very low, and in fact lower than the Nepal, Pakistan and Bangladesh. So being a democratic country and being a developing country, this is not a good sign for the India. So it will ensure the political representation of the women, and it will also give a ground to the women that they will analyze women's situation very easily and closely, and they will solve and able to resolve all the issues which are related to the women. Suppose that issues related to their participation in the educational arena, their labor force participation, their menstruation, their health, their hygiene. So all these things will be easily examined by the women. So all these things are the examples which are in the favor of the Women Reservation Bill. However, so many political parties and so many things are opposed regarding this. So many people are saying that this is not a community group, and you cannot say that this is a kind of homogeneous group, just like a caste. We have a caste based reservation in India. So caste is just like a homogeneous group, and on the basis of homogeneity we give a reservation to the particular caste, and we categorize caste into the OBC, SC, ST and minorities. But this is not a homogeneous group. Then why we will give reservation to the women? So this is one of the controversy related to it. The second thing, they are challenging the merit of the women, that women are not such meritless that they could not compete equally to the men. So why they will need extra reservation and extra kind of policies for them to be in the Parliament. So these are the questions coming to the favor and against of this Women Reservation Bill. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about what is the history behind this Women Reservation Bill, because this thing has been not first time introduced in the Parliament. So this thing has been first introduced by the Rajiv Gandhi led government, and it came into the full swing in the year of 1996 when there was a Gowda government, and at that time Law Minister Ramakant D. Khalap has introduced in the Parliament. But it was not successful at that time, and between 1998 to 2004 there was a Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, and they had also tried multiple times to pass this bill, But unfortunately, this bill was not passed, and by the successive time of 2000, 2002 and 3, the Bajpayee government was unable to pass this bill. Moving to the next slide. So next slide says that, in 2004 itself, when there was a Prime Minister Manmohan Singh government, they had also tried to pass this bill, but it was also unsuccessful at that time and it was not passed. And a breakthrough moment came in 2010 when this bill was tabled in the parliament and it was passed in the Rajya Sabha by 186 vote, and there was only one opposition, who was Sharad Joshi. But there was so many physical fight happened in the Rajya Sabha, and because of lots of scuffle and controversy, the then government decided that it will not table this thing in the Lok Sabha, and since that time this thing has been paused. So what is the common point between all this controversy? Why these people and these political parties are opposing the women's reservation bill? On the other hand, in their manifesto, they always support the women's empowerment and they try to introduce the policies which are related to the women empowerment. Then why these all governments and these all political parties are opposing this thing? And especially the regional parties just like the RJD, JDU and so many parties, SP, Bahujan Samaj Party, they all are opposing this women reservation bill because they wanted that there should be the quota within quota. It means that there is a provision of 33% reservation to the women, but there was no provision that how much percentage would be given to the SC women, how much it would be given to the ST and especially the OBC women. The first time it has been opposed by the Nitish Kumar, Sharad Yadav, and Nitish Kumar said that at that time there were 39 MPs in the Lok Sabha, and he said that out of 39 there were only 4 OBC women in the Lok Sabha. So if there will be 33% reservation to the women, all the women who belongs to the upper strata will come to the parliament. So there is no provision that all the Bahujan women, especially the women from the SC, ST and OBC community should come to the parliament. So in order to ensure their representation, quota within quota is important. On the other hand, Sharad Yadav had also advocated the same thing and he said that I will eat poison and I will die if there will be not inclusion of tribal and Dalit women in the women reservation bill. So he also wanted that there should be the inclusion of SC, ST and OBC women in women's reservation bill. Similarly, Lalu Prasad Yadav had also opposed, Mayawati had also opposed, Mulayam Singh Yadav had also opposed. So what is the common thing about all these leaders? That all these leaders belongs to the marginalized community, Bahujan community, and they wanted that there should be the quota within quota and women from all the background should be presented equally. And because of this thing, this women reservation bill has been not passed in the parliament yet. And this time also we are facing the same controversy and same kind of problems. Even the Congress and left parties are supporting this thing, but so many regional parties are still opposing it and they are saying that, the problem would be the same. The women who belongs to the lower strata will not be represented. And in after independence, we have seen that there were many women who were the part of the parliament. But what we have seen that among all those women, 90% of the women belong to the upper strata. They were hardly representation of SC, ST and OBC women. So it's up to you that, if all these women should be presented equally in the parliament or not. So this time also we have this kind of controversy and we will see in the future whether this bill is getting passed or not. So moving to the next slide. So next slide is about practice question for prelims. According to Global Gender Gap Report, the rank of India is, your options are 48, 127, 135, 146. So you have to answer this in the comment section. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about the mains question, and this question has been already asked in 2019. It means that this topic is very important. The reservation of seats for women in the institution of local self-government has had a limited impact on the patriarchal character of the Indian political process. Comment. So we all know that, by 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, 33% reservation was given to the women who are contesting election for the local self-government. It means that in local self-government, in Panchayati election, they were given this reservation. But there is issue with this 33% of reservation. What happened that in rural areas, mostly women are participate in the local self-government and they also contest election. But after that, this thing has not equally represented women because women was just a rubber stamp and so many sarpanch patis were assisting their women in their administration. So these kind of controversies still coming in. So because of this thing, this question has been framed that, we have given this 33% reservation in local self-government, but we cannot reduce the patriarchal mindset. And what are the problems we have? The first thing is that we have the provision of Sarpanch Pati. The second thing is that women are used as a rubber stamp. Third thing is that there is a lack of exposure to women, because women are not much politically aware, and if they participate in political arena, they might don't know about so many problems, that what are the political, social and economic problems. So there is also lack of exposure. The fourth thing is that patriarchy, stereotype, traditional mindset. And what are the stereotypes we have for the women? That women are meant to rear children and cook for the kitchen. So why they will participate in the political arena? So these kind of stereotypes are also preventing women to participate and to be active in the political arena. So this question is about that. This might be different in today's exam, and in upcoming UPSC exam there might be question from the women's representation in the politics. And you can also frame your answer like this, that what are the hurdles that women are not equally represented in the politics. And you can also cite the data that we have only 78 MPs in the Lok Sabha and we have only 24 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. And coming to the state part, what we can see that only we have one female chief minister, which is Mamata Banerjee. And earlier we have Mayawati also, and she belongs to the marginalized community, but their numbers are very less. So this is very bad political example for a democratic country which consists the population of 50% who are women. So they are the hurdles, and they are preventing women to be politically active in the political arena. And there are so many stereotypes, so many patriarchal mindset related to the women. People generally tend that, women are not made for the politics, they are made for the kitchen. And if they also try to come to the politics, there was so many sexual exploitation, physical exploitation, mental exploitation is there with the women. And because of all these obstacles, women are not represented equally in the politics. Coming to the economic background, you can also cite that, mostly the property owned are the male owned property. So they are not politically powerful, also economically powerful. And because of this, women are not able to participate in the politics. So these are the problems we have for the women's. And as a society also, we have seen that women are contributing to the Chandrayaan success mission. They are highly contributing to the education world. But there is still problem in the political arena. No one wants women to become MP and to become Prime Minister of this country. So these kind of stereotypes, patriarchal mindset, traditional mindsets are associated with the women. So this needs to be changed. You can write all these points in your way forward, that in which manner all these mindsets should be changed. Women should be given more kind of education. There should be exposure and political training for the women, so that they can also take part in the political arena. So by this way you can frame, so you can practice your mains question. So I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.